All right, what is going on, everyone? Another being the GM here. I've done multiple videos so far, 4 different teams, two AFC, two NFC. I've got Colts, Giants, Raiders, and Vikings. Please check those out if you haven't done so already. I am now going to work with the Bears. I think they're an incredibly interesting team. Full disclosure, I am a Packer fan, but I find the Bears to be really, really fun, really, really interesting to work with. Ben Johnson has done a fantastic job. You can tell he's not only schematically creative, but seems to be a great leader and seems to have a plan and a vision, not just for the short term, but for the long term. It is really best case scenario for the Bears and for Caleb Williams. Lots to do here for the Bears as they're $6 million over the cap. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to find myself cutting a lot of players. What I do think I'm going to do here is make a ton of restructures. I believe Tremaine Edmunds has already been cut. The Bears have a really solid mix of young and veteran players, and I think it's really gone a long way for a cohesive, well-structured locker room and culture. Ben Johnson has done a fantastic job, but as you can see here, I'm restructuring a ton of different contracts. I'm not necessarily going to be keeping all of these players. Cole Kmet, someone that could possibly be dealt away. DJ Moore is someone that I'm for sure going to deal away. DeAndre Swift is also another player that I think I'm going to deal away here. But right off the bat, I've made a bunch of restructures, and all of a sudden you can kind of see that things are already far better, right? So there's a lot to change here. Darnell Wright is 24 years old. I feel very comfortable in extending him. There's no reason that the Bears shouldn't be. And outside of that, I'm not sure. Maybe Dexter, right? You extend him a little bit. 26 years old, maybe extend him for a couple of years, right? Tyreek Stevenson, maybe you kind of give him another prove it year. But I think the biggest thing that needs to happen here for the Bears is some trades, right? And in all honesty, this is my second time doing this. I did this for one video already, and it kind of messed up. And I'll explain why here in a second. But this is the second time Vita Vea and Dexter Lawrence have come up in trade offers. I don't understand the Vita Vea move for Tampa Bay. Maybe Dexter Lawrence is not a scheme fit, but I'd be kind of interested to see, how that all plays out. I really like the idea of Budda Baker. So, Arizona for some reason is offering Budda Baker for 160 for the pick 163. I think that's an easy yes, and we restructure. I think what makes a ton of sense here is if we go to our trade block and we throw on DJ Moore, we can kind of see what teams are thinking. Las Vegas is interested, and so we are going to also throw on Grady Jarrett, and we're also going to throw on DeAndre Swift and see what we can get here. This is the one that I think is the most interesting. Eric Bieniemy moving from Chicago as running back coach to the offensive coordinator position back to KC. I'd be interested to see if Bieniemy would, be interested in DeAndre Swift. It looks like Arizona's interested in DeAndre Swift. Denver's interested in DeAndre Swift. So I'm actually getting some more positive returns here than I originally imagined for DeAndre Swift. Grady Jarrett is here at for a value of pick 96. I think that's interesting. I'm honestly not entirely sure how Grady Jarrett performed for the Bears this last year. But we are going to add along the defensive line. I honestly don't know if the Raiders would do this. I don't know if it's something that they're even interested in. But I think it really makes a ton of sense here. If we can add DJ Moore, if we can add a first round pick, right? And if we can then get that for Max Crosby, it seems like they're very interested in that. Maybe we could get a pick back, like 102. I don't understand how that puts the deal in even more uh, of a positive territory there. But they want DJ Moore in a pick, or they want a player and 2 first-round picks. So very similar to the Micah Parsons trade. I'm not sure they get that, but I'll at least do the first-round pick and DJ Moore. I think that makes a ton of sense here for both parties involved. We're going to restructure $18 million. Okay. All of a sudden, that was a pretty financially even deal. And now we're looking at a pretty solid defensive line. Moving Max Cross, moving Max Crosby. We could even move Max Crosby to the right side there. That's totally fine. We'll move Austin Booker here. And I really don't want to start just giving up draft picks, right? Like we don't have a first round pick anymore. But to me, like the idea of like going and getting a Dexter Lawrence just like sounds really, really nice. Like I don't know what it is that why would we turn this down, right? DJ Moore is gone. Grady Jarrett, you pick up an extra pick. Pick 96. Um, um, yeah, I'm gonna make some wild trades here. Okay, Grady Jarrett goes. I think pick 65. I don't understand why we wouldn't, right? Pick 65. I'll accept that. Let's add another player to the block. Oh, how about Tyson Bagent? No one really wants him. I'm gonna do this, right? I'm okay with this. Like, I don't know what's going on with Dexter Lawrence, but it seems like he had a down year, and he was just, I don't know, a year ago, one of the best defensive tackles in the league. And now all of a sudden, things are looking kind of interesting defensively, right? You've got some really big names there. You kind of hopefully upgraded Dexter Lawrence, or upgraded your interior defensive line. You've got Max Crosby, Montez Sweat. You've got enough players here that it's like, how do we double some of these guys? We want another free safety for sure, and some linebackers would be good in free agency. I think we have the moves to make. For pick 240, I just feel like I can get better. I can get better deals. One last thing I think that we would want to do here. Let's bring in Tyson Bagent. This is a tough one, right? Like, there's not really many coaching connections. Declan Doyle went over to Baltimore, right? It's not like they're really interested in giving away Lamar Jackson. I don't really think they need like too much insurance. And it seems like, by the sound of things, that Chicago wants to give Bagent an opportunity to start somewhere, right? So maybe we can add a player like Bagent and we can get a pick back like 87. There we go. Okay, so now all of a sudden we're kind of building some of those picks. Do we have any first round picks? No. Do we have any second round picks? Most likely not, right? But we do have a completely retooled defense with a lot of big names. And I think, if I'm keeping track of things correctly, we've got a decent amount of draft capital coming back. Okay. I'm not sure about this player or this player, but let's confirm the tenders. We're not really going to bring back anyone like Brisker. We signed Buda Baker. Jalen Jones is going to make some money. DeMarco Jackson is going to make some money. Chauncey Gardner Johnson is interesting. Andrew Billings is interesting. I kind of like him, right? 31 years old. He's not too expensive. We'll come back to him. I'm really interested in bringing back Zacchaeus. Um, $3.1 million, really solid player. Outside of that, I'm not sure, how much we really want to bring on. I like the idea of maybe like a Ryan Bates here. He's a little bit older, but he's going to be cheaper than Stromberg. He's been in the system. I'm okay with that, right? Let's bring back Case Keenum. He's not going to play, but I like him in the quarterback room. Let's bring Jonathan Owens, right? 2 years. So let's bring some of these guys back, right? And we're still dealing with $84 million. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is definitely go to the running back position, right? Breece Hall is probably not going to be available. I don't see the Bears honestly spending too much for a running back. Now looking at like the options, maybe Swift is just a player that I end up keeping. You don't really have a draft pick that can address this, right? Like maybe like Montgomery would have been interesting, but you already kind of have that player um in Kyle Monangai, right? Two teams interested. Um I could see Kenneth Walker being very, very interesting. It's the biggest problem here is that the players are older, right? Um, and so it's really difficult to go sign a guy when you don't really have the explosiveness or the youth that you're really looking for uh, off the free agent market. So looking back, I probably would have just kept Swift, right? But we're kind of switching things up here, getting a little funky with it. I kind of like the idea here of Kenneth Walker for 2 years. I think he's going to get above market value. Um, and I just like this idea here in a Ben Johnson offense. Um, there's a possibility that he's also just not the best pass catcher. So if we're being honest, right? ETN probably doesn't get much. Man, Kenneth Gainwell could be really interesting. I'm okay. 1 year, Kenneth Gainwell, like that's super interesting to me. And then let's bring in another player. Um, that could provide some juice. I don't think they bring in Austin Eckler. Just don't see that at all. Um, I've been liking signing Sean Tucker, right? I've been liking doing that. Okay, let's go look at receiver here. We're not going to do anything too expensive, right? This is a team that has their top two weapons in Odunze and Burden, and they're both going to be really, really solid. But I think a third wide receiver would make a ton of sense here. Um, someone that can maybe stretch the field, right? Um, Rashid Shaheed is a very popular choice for me. Um, Yeah. I maybe Tyquan Thornton, right? Maybe someone like that. That would be pretty interesting. Mike Evans, Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings would be interesting. Let's go with Rashid Shaheed. I think it makes too much sense um, for most teams, right? Let's look at offensive line. I think we want someone that can compete at left tackle. Who that player is, I'm not entirely sure. But I think ooh, what about someone that has played for um has played for Ben Johnson before. So let's go get Jamarco Jones, left tackle. Fine. There's another guy, a younger guy, that I've seen a few times on here. Plays for the Lions. This guy's right tackle only. Um, Yosh Nijman is kind of interesting. I doubt he's a player that, you know, Ben Johnson's kind of interested in. Um, but let's go Illuminor. Really had a great year. Um, I'm okay with going a little bit above market here. Okay. Um, just in case Trapilo's not ready, right? I mean, you did start off with negative $6 million in cap space. And I think what we should do here is bring on a couple of interior offensive linemen that are going to that can kind of shore up the back of your depth chart here. So, how about a player like Spencer Bruford, right? How about a player like uh, oh man, I want to sign John Simpson. Like that guy would be great. Andre, $12 million for Andre James is crazy, crazy. How about Christensen or Hernandez? I like this. Yeah, I have a tendency to sign Will Hernandez many times. Okay, I feel fine now, right? How about Dan Feeney? Sure, let's get some veterans in this back end here. Okay, feel really good about the offense now. Rashid Shaheed can kind of come over here. Maybe we can draft a guy, right? That's all good. All good. Okay, linebacker, right? Who can fill some linebacker spots for us? I like Nakobe Dean. Make that offer. I mean, sorry, not Nakobe Dean. Devin Lloyd. How about Demario Davis? Has played for Dennis Allen before, right? Is only going to cost you 1 year's worth of cap space, right? He's reliable, doesn't miss games. Yeah, I like that a lot. Who else has played for Dennis Allen recently? Right? I think that's who we want to kind of go after here. Some players that have played for Dennis Allen. Some smart linebackers, I think, make a ton of sense. I saw someone up here that I'm kind of interested in, Sanborn. Kind of cheap, right? Nothing too crazy. Now let's look at the back end. Let's look at some safeties here. We need a guy who can play on the back end, right? Who can really cover a lot of ground. Nick Cross is kind of interesting. Kobe Bryant is interesting. There is someone like Alohi Gilman, right? Don't have to spend too much money on him. And he can play the back end for you. And then I do kind of like Gardner Johnson, right? Let's just look what let's look what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, kind of like what's happening there. Another corner would be good. Kind of like Gilman starting, right? Another corner. How old is Alontae Taylor? $28 at $9 million. It's pretty expensive. I've signed Elam before. I kind of like that. Starting to really get into the low ends of this here. Yeah, how about this? We'll take that. Okay. Now let's go to the draft. Okay. We're going to go instant and we're going to start this 7-round draft. Our picks, we've got 65, 87, 89, 96. So we still end up with 4 top 100 picks. I do like that. And let's see what we can get with here. I think another receiver makes a ton of sense. Hopefully we can get a running back. That's nice. Let's see what trades are available to us. Moving back to 74, picking up 109. I think that's kind of interesting. But, Overton, 5-tech, not really necessary for us right now. Jennings Dunker. That's interesting. Eli Stowers, Antonio Williams. Interesting. Okay. Where are our picks here? We've got 65 and then we have 87. Yeah, I don't really like kind of giving up where we're at right now. I really don't want Jadarian Price, Genesis Smith. Zone heavy profile may limit scheme fits. I feel like that works with Dennis Allen. Let's see what we can do here. We have another safety here in Kamari Ramsey. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's just do a little bit of extra research here. Yeah, I don't have much. Don't have much. Okay, so maybe we go Genesis Smith. He's kind of interesting here. Not the best tackler. Don't like that. We're gonna go this guy. This guy could not be more Ben Johnson coded. Emmett Johnson is interesting. Traden Stukes is interesting. Grayson Halton is interesting. Brennan Thompson is interesting. Okay, Danny Dennis Sutton. Did we add a running back that we feel good about? Sort of. I'm okay skipping out on him. Emmett Johnson is kind of interesting. Deion Burks, Ted Hurst. Zakee Wheatley. Makes plays from center field better than any safety in this class. Here we are at 89. Okay. Let's go with Deion Burke, someone we really want here. 5'9", 190. I'm okay with not necessarily doing that. 6'3", 195. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's add some defensive tackles, some interior defensive linemen. We have 89 and then we have 96. Does Grayson Halton make it to us? Or does Traden Stukes not? 89 and then what was it? 96. Yeah, let's go. Let's go Traden Stukes. Oh, wait, they didn't take him. Oh, here he is. What sort of trades do we have? Chilling on that. Give me that. Picking again at 120s. Caleb Proctor. I feel like I've heard some things about him. Harold Perkins. We've got Nick Singleton. Sam Roush. Hey, how about getting rid of Cole Kmet and bringing in another dude, 6'5", 260? Is that the guy? I thought there was another guy that was about he was like 6'7", and I'm having a hard time finding. Maybe it's this guy. Yeah, it's this guy, Eli Raritan. 6'7", 251. But maybe he could be okay. So he's at 141. This is kind of the last pick here. Let's go with let's go with him. Eli Raritan. And then we're gonna go Robert Henry Jr. from oh, there he is. Robert Henry. Drafting at 240. Here's another guy. How about do we get a receiver? We didn't, huh? Chase Roberts. Sure. We'll take him. All right. A B grade here. Not that great. That's okay. I think we've done quite a few positive things. Not to mention we've got Robert Henry Jr. Probably should have added another quarterback, so I would go back and do that. Kind of always forget to do that. But I really like what we've done in drafting some players here that can provide some immediate immediate impact. You've drafted for depth. You know, I think it honestly went okay. A B, all right. This is my first time really going through all the way with the Chicago Bears. If you are watching, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And if you could, go back and watch, or if you want, go back and watch some of the other videos that I've posted here.